Anyway, we had a little bit of difficulty at the end of the last part of this tutorial. So what I'm going to do is pick up where it lost connection, and that is to go to the Manage Screen Ships screen. And in here, you can change your ships. Eventually, you'll have a list of ships down here that you may wish to change depending on the missions you're doing. You may want a heavy cruiser or a science ship or escort at some stage, and you can change your ship here. The other thing you can do is you can swap out your weapons, deflectors, and engines, etc. Add some devices simply by clicking on the square and choosing stuff from your inventory. Now, because the last video cut out on us, we actually don't have stuff left in our inventory for basically changing the weapons. But what we have acquired through finishing the mission, which you haven't seen yet, is a few things. So this helps me to show you again how to add stuff. So it would be the same for weapons, impulse engines, shields, or whatever. You have two choices. You can click on devices and choose from the drop-down list of devices here. It says there in the inventory, here is a shields battery, which allows us to increase our shield power when it starts to go under. So we can just click there to add that to our devices, or we can left click on the item and drag it. Now that's a weapons battery, I think, which helps with our weapons when they need a little bit more power. We don't have any consoles at the moment. Also here you'll see my ship looks different to how it looked in the last video. I'll show you how to do that now. Over here we've also got a weapon we can change to use on our character, and we'll look at that shortly. So the next option here is customize ship. If you go in here, you can choose which ship you want to customize out of your current ships. So we'll go to the starship, and we get a nice screen comes up. You can turn the ship around by holding, or we can use the icons here in this panel. Again, with the mouse, we can scroll in and out. So here we've got our templates. At this level, there's not a lot we can do, so I'm just going to show you this ready for next time or as we move on. We click on Advanced, it gives you more options. Now here, sometimes you'll have more templates. The material of the ship you will be able to change. Here we can't. Window types, you'll be able to change. Again, we can't. What this does is change the look of your ship from a material point of view. The window types here, the lights where the windows are, they'll change position. So you can customize your ship pretty good. Here, she's looking standard. So what we're going to do is we are going to, first off on this side, we can change the interior. Now the interior is your bridge. So at the moment we've got the standard kind of Enterprise sort of bridge from the original. I've just if you want to spend some money, you can buy various looks, or you've got looks that are free. These are quite futuristic. At the moment, I'm just sticking to the normal one we're using. These options down here, you won't have this many options when you. They're for different ships and at different levels. But in theory, you can change ships, bridge there, and layout when that's available. On the right-hand side, you have styles for your deflector pod, which is the bottom part. The neck, quite small on here. Of course, your hull, pylons, the nacelles. We can't change them on this particular ship. Again, we'll look at that at a later date. What you can do is change the look of your ship. So if, for instance, I go into this section, again, you may not have all these available, but you can choose different markings. So if you look at the pod here, the bottom part of the ship, if I choose to go for, say, what should we look at? Here's a change. You see it's changed a little bit. We can't really see the change because we haven't changed the colors of things yet. So let's just change these out. I'll make them red. There you go, it's red. I'll make this one blue just so you can see what is affected. So the red is affected on the main of the decals, and the blue is affecting smaller parts. And we can change that in a second, but just so as we know what we're changing, I'll leave it on some pretty bold colors there. So it's easy to see a change here. If you look at the neck, we change that there. If we look at the hull, we can change the look here. So you can customize your ship pretty much so it looks kind of unique. We go for Leo there. The pylons, again, don't worry about the colors just for a second. This is just to show you the nacelles. Okay, so now we've got a ship that looks like it's been painted by chicks in a crowd, but we're just going to change the colors. So this color here, I think we'll go for a nice red here, and our secondary color, we can do the same to match it up if we like. We can change it to get a little bit of a contrast going in there. Personal taste. So down the bottom, you can cancel to go back to default, or you can, if you've spent any money, which some of the bigger ships will have items you can buy, of course, or if you bought a bridge that cost any money, it'll tell you what it costs in Zen, as I say, where you dip into your pocket, but you don't have to. Here we've got a total cost of nothing. So we can click apply, and that will apply it to our ship. Before we do that, I want to show you this button here, 3D print. How cool is that? You can actually print out your starship. If you've got a 3D printer, I'm pretty jelly. I don't have one, so I'm not going to do it. Click apply. And next time you go into space, that is what your ship will look like. So we can exit here. We'll look at these options again when we've moved up a ship or two and we've actually got more options. Over here, you can request some ship equipment, which basically means buy it. And here you can see weapons, equipment, consumables. So weapons, you could buy more phasers. Like at the moment, we started with a Mark 1. We have swapped them out. Unfortunately, you didn't see that because the video got cut off and we can't repeat it at this particular mission. We could go for a level 3, level 4, and these cost energy credits. It's in red because we do not have enough, and the reason we do not have enough is because we haven't done anything useful yet. So we've only got 2,994. However, you're going to pick stuff up as you go along, and you're probably not going to need to buy this stuff unless you want to make it easier for yourself. And also some stuff you can only use at certain levels. Like, for instance, this Mark 5 can only be used by a commander. You'll see in the black box it's in red. So you're not a commander, so you can't use it anyway. So there's no point buying it. here the Mark III is Lieutenant Commander. Well, again, we're only a lieutenant, so we can't use that. But you can buy various things, beam weapons, torpedoes. Later on in the game, you may wish to do that. At the moment, we're going to find this stuff anyway. And again, equipment, engines, shields, cores, and consumables, which will be batteries and components. Now, depending on what level you're playing, you may need some components, because when you're playing a game, if we go into the mission journal log and look at your available or in progress missions, down the bottom in yellow here is a difficulty level. We're playing on normal. Most people do at the moment when we are leveling up. And that'll be enough as a challenge to start off with. As you get better or you're replaying missions you've done before, you may want to click on this button, go down to advanced or even elite, which is really hard. But advanced level you should easily be able to do once you grasp the game mechanics. So don't do that now. The difference at the higher levels, you can actually get damage to your ship and yourself, which would necessitate the need for you to have some components to repair your ship. You can pick these up as you go along, and we can buy them in the marketplace or the exchange if we need to eventually, or you can craft them as we saw looking at the craft video. So these are your vendors, or at least the ones on Stardock. You will then have a thing on the right hand side in your missions that tells you to go back to Admiral Garrett. Now, we don't need to do that per se, because I did it in the last, or I don't need to do it, I did it in the last tutorial, but it crapped out on us. So I'm just going to run back and show you. Remember the triangle there, pointing in the direction you want to go, if you can't remember where he is. Sometimes if you're running a bit fast, you get through the door before it opens. That's okay. So what will happen is you'll come back to Admiral Garrett and you'll turn the mission in. Now, again, we can't do that. We've already done it.
Hello. I don't have anything for you today.
But what he will do is he'll give you your rewards for that running around Stardock, and then he'll give you a new mission. And this mission is Shadow of Cestus. It says in progress here because I've already accepted it during the failed tutorial.
I'm expecting a report on the Edrin 4 situation soon.
If you click on it, he'll ask you how you're getting on and why haven't you done it. However, we can
Hello. I don't have anything.
Revisit the mission to find out what it is. It tells us over here we're going to do it, and we need to beam up the movies. It's kind of... So here are our rewards. We're going to end up with a new officer, if we're lucky, and some other equipment. So what we're going to do, we're going to beam up to our ship, which is using this icon on the top left of our boxed menu, and we'll pop up and we'll start the mission. So I'm going to end this tutorial right here because I want to make sure that it is actually taken and it's working, and then we will carry on with missions. So not so much tutorials coming up, and actual missions, and we'll deal with any new learning as about the Stargate service for a while, and we'll just it is what it is. So thank you so much. We'll see you very shortly.